But basically, I started out as a patron in the industry, and I've been working in this club and some other clubs in Salt Lake for about the past 12 years. And I have worked some other clubs. I worked as a DJ, I've worked as a manager. I started out as a manager, learned all the ropes of different aspects of the club, bartending, cocktailing, cooking, working the front door, all the different aspects, and enjoyed DJing the most because I enjoy music myself personally. I have a large library of music of my own, and got into DJing doing that, and it's a more enjoyable job. It's something that I can do that I enjoy personally and get paid for. I worked construction for a while, and when I did that, I came back to the club scene because I was out in 112-degree weather one day and working, busting my butt, and thinking I could be staring at naked girls right now in an air-conditioned building and getting paid for it just as much as what I'm doing for this. So I'm back. But,
absolutely. Yeah, is there a special talent to it? Because you're in a situation where the girls out there were baby oiled down and just looking amazing. I mean, my editor and I were sitting there looking at this girl like, does it take a special talent to work in a club like this as opposed to just bartending near the local bowling alley?
Well, it's definitely a different atmosphere. I mean, you don't go to the mall, and when you're a manager here, you can just look at a girl and she knows she's supposed to get undressed. You don't go to the mall and do that every day. But if you did, it'd probably be more fun, but...
Does it make you cold? Does it make you hard-hearted? Does it make you, or is it just another job?
I'm sorry, what?
Does it make you cold? Does it make you hard-hearted? Does it make you jaded?
I don't think so. I think that, I mean, some people it does. I'm sure it does. Myself, I find myself at times having a little shorter fuse on certain things that I might give a little bit more latitude to in other situations.
Give us an example. That almost sounds politically correct. Short fuse.
Well, for instance, in other jobs, people being late, there's a lot more tardiness. People tend to party a lot that do the job. Myself, I mean, I try not to get wrapped up in the party end of it too deep, because if you do, you spend so much time partying, you lose track of the basic issues, things you have to do as far as working, pay the bills, family, friends, doing the normal scene. You start thinking that partying is the life, and that the other stuff doesn't count, and the other stuff is much more important. The party is the relief for the stress, but it's not the lifestyle.
How about drugs?
Too many people get caught up in it and think it is a lifestyle. They start partying all the time, they don't pay attention they show up late for work, they don't show up for work, they start not calling friends because they're hungover the next day.
When you talk about partying, are you talking about crystal, coke, meth, heroin, or are you just talking about staying up late?
Whatever a person considers their party, their release.
You're being politically correct again.
Naked, that's their idea of partying. Then that's what they do.
Give us an example. You don't have to name a girl. Let's give a name to a girl, Miss X. Give us an example of like she's not being professional. What?
Well, if I have girls that if I have a girl that doesn't show up on time, habitually, constantly calls in, well, I'm late, my grandma's sick today, or I can't get a babysitter for my child, or this happens. And granted, things happen to people. I mean, they have issues, but it's kind of funny how somebody who works at Taco Bell doesn't have as many issues as somebody that might here. You know what I'm saying? They can show up for work on time because they know the boss won't tolerate it. And here there's a little more tolerance because of the fact that it's such a different lifestyle, and because they understand that. So there is a little more tolerance. I find myself having to be more lenient as a manager, and yet in some cases you just can't be, because if you do, the persons will walk all over you. They'll find excuses for anything. But it's definitely, there's some people you can depend on. They're on time. They do their job. They see it as a job or as a career or a way to further their career. I mean, I've met entertainers that utilize this as a stepping stone and or a career as a whole. I know one entertainer that worked for 10 years straight, and she retired in 10 years.
Well, I know a girl that got into Playboy after doing a little oil wrestling show in California. Is that what you're referring to, or are you talking about like Hollywood? Are you talking about becoming an investor, paying your way through
going into modeling, there's all sorts of different aspects or facets.
Do many girls get out of Salt Lake City?
Some do. Actually, I used to publish a little magazine here. It was the first what you would call nude magazine coming out of Salt Lake for a while. It was just a a guide and to show about the strip clubs in Salt Lake. And we only ended up doing a couple issues due to some internal problems, but the issues that came out went really well. The people really, it was received well. Borders Bookstore in Provo even started selling it for us for a while there, so it was an interesting thing. But the industry as a whole, you know, is different in Salt Lake. It's a little bit different than what it is in other towns because there is no lap dance type thing. And I'm losing track of my thoughts now. I've been working all day, so I'm a little tired.